Unit 9, C. Skills. Listening.
I was living in France at the time because my parents and my two older sisters were working there, and so my interview for a place at a UK university had to be done online. I was absolutely petrified about the interviewers seeing me online because I hate being photographed. I wonder how nervous I would have been if I'd been sitting in the same room as them. But I must have looked pretty much okay because they offered me a place and I spent 3 very happy years studying there.
I went for several university interviews, and for most I was incredibly nervous. 5 unsmiling faces waiting to interview me didn't help. For one interview, I had a pen in my hand which I kept rolling over my face because of my nerves. Without realising it, I had been drawing on my face, and I didn't realise until afterwards when I saw my face in the mirror. I wish now that I'd taken a photograph. Not one of the interviewers said a word.
My worst experience for a university interview was the wrong place, wrong date, wrong time. Unbelievable. To this day, I still don't know how I managed to get everything so terribly wrong, even though I keep going over everything in my head again and again and again. I guess perhaps I just had so much on my mind at the time that I got things mixed up. But I learnt a good lesson. Never set off for an interview without checking and rechecking all the details.
While I was having my university interview, one of the interviewers had a sneezing attack. At first I managed to ignore it, but then I started to laugh and I didn't know what to do to stop myself. The situation only got worse as she continued sneezing every minute or so, and I felt incredibly rude for behaving like that. The other interviewer just continued the interview, ignoring his colleague as if these sneezing fits were a common occurrence. He dealt with it far better than I had done.
My first interview for a university place is next week. I'm 100% prepared, and I've been online to check what I should and shouldn't do and say. I've also spoken to some of my teachers about how to approach the interview, and both my older sister and brother have already been through the same experience, so they also helped me get ready. I'm not sure what else I can do now, other than to be myself and try not to get too nervous, despite all my preparations.
My worst university interview experience was one in which I was interviewed and filmed with 7 others. We had to complete several tasks together. The idea, so they said, was to judge how we work with other people, but I felt it was very unfair. I'm not an outgoing person, so I hardly said anything, while the dominant characters just kept talking non-stop. The interviewers just let us get on with it for about 20 minutes. To my great surprise, they offered me a place.